Alrighty, we are live. So, thank you for tuning in. If you're tuning in on Facebook or on YouTube, or I think I even put the YouTube link on LinkedIn. So, if you guys are watching, we really appreciate it. Today, we have a cool episode. We're going to be talking with some young entrepreneurs. I say young because they really are young. At least from what you told me, I mean, you're in your early 20s, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Mateo's 23. I'm 26.
Awesome. Okay, so this company is called BOXY Construction, and it's really unique. We'll tell you about it in just a second, but first, you're watching the T. All right, so guys, tell me a little bit about yourselves and kind of how'd you start this and why did you want to start this? I mean, Mateo, how old are you? And I guess just kind of introduce yourself. Let people know.
Yeah, I'll kick it off. First of all, thank you so much for having us, Ben. It's really a pleasure. We are natives to Louisiana. We were both born in New Iberia, and our family's in Broussard now. And, thinking about Louisiana, we get so many hurricanes and storms and really just really bad things here. And so you look at the devastation after that, and that really inspired us. It's like, well, there's got to be a better way. We shouldn't have this much damage control. It should be done right the first time. And so that made us really interested in construction. And so we're both mechanical engineers, but we shifted into construction. We said, well, first of all, the big problem right now is labor and getting people to the site. So let's try to take it into a manufacturing environment. And also let's try to just improve the quality through process control in the factory environment so that we're not subject to the rain and heat of the Louisiana climate all the time. So that's kind of a quick intro to what inspired us. So we're modular manufacturers, and we build buildings and building components in a factory.
Okay, and how old are you again? Did you say?
Yes, I'm 23.
23. All right, cool. Well, it's good to get your introduction, and it's good to meet you. And Tiago, go ahead and let people know about you, how old you are, and your perspective on starting the company.
Hey, I'm Tiago. I'm 26. I went to UL. I graduated in 18. And perspective on starting the company. Before that, I worked in renewable energy. So I've always been searching for something that I can see the tangible results of what I do and really improve people's lives and improve the lives of those around me. And, personal growth and something that you can feel proud of at the end of the day. And, I was searching for what to do for a while. At first I wanted to become a doctor, but then I settled on being an engineer. I worked in renewable energy. And then I moved over to Atlanta because Mateo lived in Atlanta as well. And we both joined a company that would take shipping containers to modify them and build them into offices, building houses, medical emergency buildings. And that was just awesome to me because you're taking something that's older, that's not as used, and upcycling it. And, that was in Atlanta. And we really wanted to give back to where we came from, to our home state. So, I mean, we saw opportunity over here to take some of the things we've learned from there and bring it back to over here. And, we were lucky. We had the opportunity to start the business, and, business is great. You can really improve the lives of the people who work for you, improve the lives of your clients. So that kind of motivated us to think about, what we really want to do in the long run and how can we do the best with what we're given and the opportunities that we have. So that's how we started BOXY. We wanted to have a goal of improving the lives of people who work in construction because it's a very hard job. It's dangerous. So we wanted to make the best working environment. We wanted to have a sustainable building method, and we also wanted to create beautiful things.
Yeah, man. So I'm really impressed with what you guys are doing at the age that you are. So, and you're 23. How old do you say? 22?
26.
26. Okay,
Yeah,
wow.
a little
You
older.
you still look really young.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
How old do you think I am? You're not gonna hurt my feelings.
35.
36. You're close. That's good. I'm glad I looked my age. Okay. So you guys, you said you went to UL, right?
Tiago went to UL. I went to Georgia Tech in
Georgia
Atlanta.
Tech. Okay. And so obviously you said you were interested in like renewables, right?
Yeah, that's what I first started working on
Okay.
right out of college.
And what was your interest in college? You wanted to possibly be a doctor. Is that what you
For a
said?
little bit, but then I
Okay. And what was your interest in
Yeah,
college?
I've always loved to build things. And hence the reason I became a mechanical engineer. And yeah, I mean, I just always, even in college, I would do woodworking projects, all sorts of random building projects. So it was natural for me.
Yeah. Do you were you guys involved in any projects that outside of BOXY that we may know or anything like that in your studies in college?
Well, since I didn't go to school in the state, I doubt some of the
not
things
here.
that I worked on would be known very well here. But you know, we've just had, you know, we've had kit car projects and other random projects that we've done in the area, just smaller projects.
Okay. So I'm still fascinated. So you guys wanted to start a company and it's based around shipping container and modular buildings. Like, why at the age that you guys are, like, why that? Why not go into another industry that seems to be more in line with, you know, technology and like, you know, the popular stuff that most young guys go into?
Yeah. The one big factor for me is I feel like a lot of industries are saturated with people like the electric car enthusiasts, and there's a lot of programmers, and everybody wants to be a startup in Silicon Valley. But the construction industry, in a lot of ways, is like the wild, wild west right now. It's like there's so many different ways to do things. It's not very standardized. And so just felt like there is a lot of opportunity. I mean, you look at the statistics, and productivity has dropped in construction over the past few decades. There's a huge housing crisis right now of lack of availability. So there's just a bunch of factors that feel like low-hanging fruit that we can go try to solve.
Okay. And what's your take over there, Tiago?
Yeah, you mentioned technology, but I mean, we really believe in technology. We strive to do a lot of front end automation. We have some machinery that allows us to reduce labor and increase automation. We do designs online. It's you know, people think about construction, you know, you're in the field with the plans, figuring out everything, but we really strive to automate the whole process and think things through and treat it like manufacturing, like a technology-based thing, like our idea. Hopefully someday we're running a plant that's like a car factory almost that makes houses.
Yeah, like a gigafactory.
Yeah, so we think that there is technology, it's just not used yet a lot in construction.
Okay, so so you guys, it could be it's kind of a technology company in a sense, but it could be more of a technology quote unquote company as the big Silicon Valley terms go. Where do you guys build your structures? Where do you guys house? Where do you guys do your work?
Yeah, we have a facility in New Iberia, in the port of Iberia, and it's really nice. We're in an industrial complex there and have just a lot of resources.
Okay. What, like, did you guys like self-fund this? Did you have your own money or did you get help? Like, where does starting this come up from?
Yeah, so we didn't self-fund it. I mean, we bootstrap. So based off of projects, each project we get allows us to pay for the facility. I mean, because it's like construction where you don't need a lot of cost to start up. But once we started getting into the technology side and getting some of this equipment, we decided to get funding from family and friends to initially get into it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. So what is some of the most enjoyable parts of the job? I mean, you guys, is this something that you feel like you're going to be sticking with for the long haul? I mean, you being 23 and you being 26, I mean, there's a lot of room there for career changes early on. Is this something that you're passionate about, or do you think that this is something that, you're hoping to have an exit on?
Interesting. To be honest, we haven't thought that far. We're just living in the present moment, enjoying all the opportunities we get. I mean, many people, they're serial business starters. So, I mean, I hope we can be like that someday, have another idea, start a different type of business. But so I hope that that's eventually the goal, to make BOXY self-sustainable, build it up, build systems, build protocols, almost build a franchise and have that run itself. And then us go on to do something different. I mean, we've done a lot of different things in our life so far, and it's fun to keep going, keep trying new things. So
Okay.
we love it right now, and hopefully we can keep growing with it, but also maybe try to do something else in the future,
Yeah, no, I totally get it. All right, so before we move on, let me go ahead and get our sponsors mentioned here. So the Music Academy of Acadiana, Acadiana's top choice for music lessons. You already know this. If you want to get into music, there's no age requirement. There's no talent requirement. The Music Academy of Acadiana, being locally owned and founded by a musician, Tim Benson, they can teach you how to sing, drum, use your, I guess, your stringed instrument skills. Even if you don't have any, they can help develop that. So they've premiered on TV music contests like American Idol and The Voice. Again, they're founded by Tim Benson, who's a UL Lafayette Music School graduate. The company has received many awards nationally and locally. Their goal is to help make music lessons fun, educational, and to help foster the next generation of musicians and creative thinkers. And you can check them out at musicacademyacadiana.com or their Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And then we also have The Orchard, who is Acadiana's only Apple authorized service provider. So what does that mean? Basically, they have to do everything that is required of them by Apple. So it's almost like having an Apple store inside of Lafayette, except it's just not called the Apple store. It's called The Orchard, because, it's Apple related. And so if you have a broken phone, a broken iPad, or, a broken MacBook, they can fix it. They can change the screen out appropriately and make it work right the first time without having to worry about it, breaking 2 or 3 weeks later down the road. So their website is theorchardstores.com. Google them. I mean, if that domain doesn't work for you, just Google them, theorchardstores.com. They have 2 locations physically in Lafayette, one by Buffalo Wild Wings on Ambassador, and one in Karen Crow by Super One Foods. And so we really appreciate them. And so going back into the conversation, we already have a couple of comments. One is Damon Vincent. He says, let me move my logos. He says, nice work, gentlemen. And then I have a friend who just basically decided to scream my name, Ben. So, all right. Yeah. So I guess I'm trying to peel away any type of onion here, because I feel like you guys you have a lot you want to say, or there's a lot that you could say, but I feel like maybe you're nervous. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I guess
I could tell you're kind of nervous. You don't seem too
pod.
nervous, Mateo.
Yeah. I didn't know what to expect today, and I'm just enjoying the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you guys watch Shark Tank at all, or are familiar with Shark Tank?
Yeah.
We're familiar with it.
Okay. All right. So if hypothetically, if you had to go on to Shark Tank tomorrow and present your business to all these millionaires and billionaires, what would that 30-second pitch sound like? Who would do that? Mateo?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably do the pitch. I'm trying to think, so I'm going to put this on the side. I mean, being that we are kind of trying to innovate in the space, I'd say we haven't really productized in a lot of ways. We offer services, prefabrication services related to construction, but we haven't come up with and I think this is something that's really interesting to us, is the home as a product. something that you
Yeah.
interact with, kind of like an iPad or an iPhone, something that's tailored to your experience, but it's still mass manufacturable and it meets the needs of a wide variety of people. So I think that's something really interesting to us, but we haven't, it's a very difficult industry to productize in. So we haven't really breached that yet.
Okay, so right now, is it only commercial development or can it be residential? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Could be residential. I mean, we mostly work with metal products and metal prefabrication just because of the accuracy involved with it. And it can be applied into a residential application as well as commercial application. The industry most commonly uses the material that we work with in the commercial application.
yeah, I mean, metal. I mean, most commercial buildings are built out of metal. Not too many of them are built out of wood, except for there's been a few around town that I've seen built out of wood. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, sorry to butt in here, but we recently got a wonderful opportunity actually to do some work with in the residential side of things.
Oh yeah.
We recently got some contracts from Habitat for Humanity. We're working with
Oh,
them.
that's cool.
Yes. So we're actually going to frame 2 houses for them using our automated process where the whole frame is engineered, and then we're going to assemble it in parts in our shop, and then we're going to try to build it as fast as we can on site, make it super simple, like just a tilt-up building that kind of like building with Legos. So we started in commercial, just because it was easier to get into. But I think we're ultimately really passionate about building places for people to live and building them affordably and low cost. So this is our first opportunity to work with a living developer. So this is what I guess our first step towards productization is trying to build these kit houses that can be built really fast, affordably, and very high quality.
So what is the average square foot of a modular section that you guys build? Like, what does that look like? Tell me, what would I expect? Let's say if I contacted you guys to build something, I don't know, a small office building for like a dentist or not, or even a small home. Like, what is like the pieces? What does that look like? What are the specs?
Yeah. So we have 2 different processes that we can apply. There's an industry term, volumetric. It's kind of like Lego blocks. So think a section of the building is already done and you just drop it into place. And then there's panelized, which is each wall is you just stack your walls. And then when you get to the site, you put them all down where they're supposed to be. So there's 2 formats. Whenever you think about the volumetric, the Lego type construction, you really have to think about what can you actually get on the road. And that's your major constraint. So, up to 15 foot wide, around the easiest to ship is 40 foot, but you can go longer than that. So that's really some of our biggest constraints, and that's a big part of the business is figuring out the logistics.
Okay. So, but you use shipping containers, correct, too, right?
We will do shipping containers. I mean, that's our historical background.
Yeah.
But there's we've also kind of moved forward from them as a platform.
Okay.
And they have a certain application and use case, but it's not all solutions.
Okay, so the majority of your business is not shipping containers.
Not right now.
Yeah.
That's what we really cut our teeth on. And I've probably done about 90 container projects, like individual boxes. So we have a lot of experience with it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't end up being as cost effective sometimes as people would hope. But they are a really good platform for durability and for transportability.
Okay, so going back, you said there's panelized options. What was the other option?
The volumetric modular.
Okay, so is that the one that you construct? You construct all of this off-site, correct?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what is the difference between panelized versus the volumetric? Is it a cube or is it something that you deliver? Because the picture that I saw on your website, that looked like a rectangular cube, almost like a shipping container.
Yeah. No, that's volumetric, and that's very much like a shipping container. It's a volume. So that is absolute. That panelized is just saying you could even take those boxes and just essentially flat pack all those pieces, and that's panelized. So every volumetric building is a combination of panels.
Okay, so let's say I have one of those ordered. What is the square footage of one of the volumetric buildings? Does it range, or is there a set?
Yeah, it ranges based off of what your needs are and what the project is that you're building. But the modules that you might see on our website are Those are 52 foot by 12 foot wide modules, so around 500
Okay.
and some change
Okay.
square foot.
Yeah. To just give you an idea, our first project, how it came together, it was 2 of those modules with a hallway in between them. So we built the modules in our factory, and then we take them to the site, and then we built the hallway between them and built the roof on site.
Okay. And is that picture on your website?
Yeah, it should be the front cover.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me pull it up here. All right.
And just to give you an idea of the process,
Yeah.
that's that office building is about 1,500 square feet. It's an expansion to an existing office building. And the way it works is, you have these units that you can put down like that, and you can just add more to them, just like add 2 more modules in the future. It can be a continuous process. It can be a one-time process. You can stack them.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at it. So I'm looking at it right now on your website. And so this, the picture is of a business outside of Church Point, correct?
Right.
Yes, sir.
What business is it? Can you say?
That's the pediatric group of Acadiana. They have several clinics around the Acadiana area.
Okay. And so this is the volumetric 2 pieces, and you said it has a hallway in the middle.
Right.
And then the roof looks like it's just in cold formed steel that you just kind of erect over the rectangles, the cubes, I guess, for lack of better words.
Yes, sir. Those are pre-built components.
Yeah, it's very similar. It's very analogous to wood framing. You have the equivalent in cold form steel that you have in a wood 2x4.
Okay. Yeah, man, dude. This is really cool. I mean, so is this what other projects have you done? Like, is this, obviously you've done more because you wouldn't be in business at this point. What other projects besides Lafayette Habitat for Humanity and this pediatric company here, like, have you done any more locally? What does that look like?
Yeah, so we have several verticals that we offer services for, and we've helped supply material, just the material, the 2x4 steel studs, to some projects around the area. We did Capri Modern Mediterranean is a new restaurant in Baton Rouge that we supplied material for, and I think it's still in construction. We've supplied material to Jackson, Mississippi for a plasma center there. We've worked on a home in New Orleans that the guy's building, the builder's building out of cold form steel. So we've seen our projects go all over. We're working on some projects in San Antonio. That's the cool part about modular is that we put it on a truck and it can go pretty far without, with still being cost effective.
So in modular, for a lot of people that may be listening, you hear modular homes. Right. So, and modular homes are almost kind of like a trailer home in a sense.
Yeah, that's a hard part about the industry is that there's a lot of stigma against maybe modular homes, manufactured housing. Yeah. And we're trying to break away from that stigma and show that you can have very high quality commercial or residential structures. And it's like a tool in your tool belt. The destination is the same. We want to build a building, but do we build it off-site or do we build it on-site? And so it's just a process. And the goal is ultimately to make a durable, habitable space that, and ideally, you don't even realize it was built off-site.
Okay. Do you guys have partners? Or are you the only sole owners?
We are the sole owners. I mean, our family has a stake in it because they help fund part of it.
Right, naturally.
But yeah. we are the guys who run it day to day and do the sales and the operations.
So right now, like nobody's running the company. You're just here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot like a construction company.
Yeah.
Not always churning.
Yeah, I get it.
Well, we have labor that we bring in to help out, et cetera.
How many people you have working for you?
It varies. At the peak of a project, we might have 5 to 10 subcontractors doing different things. We're trying to scale up our shop operation so that we have more full-time people in there, and that's really attractive, especially for the economy around here, to just create these full-time jobs. But a lot of it's similar to construction in that we use subcontract labor a lot. But long-term, we want to start in-housing a lot more of our work. We're just small now.
Yeah. When did y'all start it?
It's about 1 year old now.
1 year old. It's
Yeah.
still a baby.
It's
Wow. Do you guys pay yourselves off of this?
We do a little bit. We don't do a lot. We try to be pretty conservative. And the reality is that there's so much upstream swimming in this kind of work because a lot of construction people don't understand it very well. They don't understand the concept of trying to apply manufacturing principles to a primarily kind of rough and stick-built framework.
So do you guys have other jobs outside of this, or is this your full-time job?
We're full-time
Okay.
builders.
All right. Yeah. I mean,
we took the dive, and I mean, it took a few months to make our first buck.
yeah. I mean,
It was worth it though.
you're lucky. I mean, a few months is pretty good. Some people, they go through a couple of years of, eating ramen noodles.
Yeah. We definitely have a lot of support from our family, and that's enabled this, and it was in a big part why we were able to pursue it.
That's good. And so you guys, obviously, you said you were born in New Iberia area, Louisiana, and you have family that was your family here natively as well, or did they move to Louisiana?
They moved here, and then we were raised here.
Where they moved from? I know you were telling me, I think before we went live, Tiago.
Oh yeah. So my parents, they're both doctors. They met up in the Northeast in Pennsylvania, and I think my dad was tired of the cold weather. And he looked at Louisiana and he thought there was a lot of beaches because it's right next to the coast. So he's like, oh, let's move to Louisiana.
There's no beaches here. What are you talking about?
So that's how we ended up in Louisiana.
There's
but
Holly
we
Beach
love
and
it.
all that.
Yeah.
But okay, so your parents are doctors, and typically in families where there's a lot of doctors involved, they want their kids to be a doctor or at least a lawyer. What does your family think of you guys going out into this field? Are they, obviously they're supportive. I mean, you guys mentioned that several times, but like, were they slightly like not disappointed, but like concerned that you were going into construction related businesses instead of being a doctor or a lawyer?
We're lucky. They've always been supportive and happy, and they know that not everything's for everybody. You gotta kind of find out what you're good at, what makes you happy. So
Okay.
they've just been nice and supportive.
God, that's great.
And our dad has interest in construction as well. He never did it, but he has interest, and it's a big part of his business because he has some offices that he's built and works with. So, but we're the first people in our family to actually be on the construction side of it.
Yeah. And typically when people think of like construction, they're like, oh, these are roughnecks. They get their boots dirty. They have torn jeans and they wear like Dickie shirts and stuff like that. It's come a long way where, it's becoming more sophisticated. Obviously with what you guys are doing, I mean, that's looking at the pictures and the processes. I mean, you have design consultation services. You have, do you have architects? Or you your own architect?
We work with third-party architects, but
okay.
If the project is smaller, we'll just do the design ourselves.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's really fascinating.
I mean it still is very rudimentary in a lot of ways. There's still a lot of manual labor involved, and that's just where we're starting out now. But we hope, and our vision is that in a few years' times, it's unrecognizable from what you typically see in construction.
Okay, that's amazing. I got a question. Like, so going back to me being someone who wants to expand or build an office building. What does the investment look like with going with you guys to have a structure created and placed versus me going the traditional route of having it, a slab poured and sticks erected and whatnot? Like, is there a cost difference? And if there isn't, what is the beneficial portion of it for the end user, the end customer?
Yeah, so first of all, cost wise, it's like everything in life. You can get a high end building or you can get a more affordable building. It just really depends what's in it. But your true benefits from modular and prefabrication is your lead time. Industry cases, you can increase the build time by up to 50%. And that's remarkable.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, in Louisiana, how many rain days do you have a month that you can't build on site? We don't have rain days in a covered roof, fortunately. So I think really the number one thing is definitely time. And then I'd say a number two is quality, that because the material isn't being rained on, it's not warping. And especially the material we use is high quality stuff. So I think there's a huge quality benefit. I think Tiago can speak to the sustainability element too.
Yeah, our building methods really reduce waste. Like the automation that we use that makes our cold form steel to frame up buildings, it cuts all the pieces at the perfect length, and it models it out. So with us, we've actually saved clients a lot of money because they don't have to buy excess material and chop it down. They get exactly what they need, the exact size they need. And like you said, like Mateo said, the big thing is in terms of time. Maybe you pay a little bit more, even though it's usually very cost competitive, but your business is opening up half a year earlier, so you're losing income when the business is not open. So that's one of the main selling points. Like Mateo said, you're losing income. Plus, modular construction is shown to be more environmentally friendly. So there's a lot of good intrinsic benefits to it that maybe you can't put a price tag on it, but yeah, you're opening up your business earlier. You're getting a very high quality product. You're getting it environmentally friendly. You're reducing your carbon footprint.
Okay. From start to finish, how fast can you set up an office building like the one you did in Church Point?
Yeah, I think that project wasn't necessarily fully representative or a long-term kind of speed. But
what would be like if you, let's say, best case scenario?
Yeah, I mean, once we get established, we think that type of office can be done in 4 to 5 months of on-site work, which is pretty remarkable for something that might take 8 months normally.
Okay.
So there's definitely that added benefit. It depends if you do volumetric or just panelized. Panelized will speed up a project, the framing stage, about, it might be 25% of what it normally would be. So there's just different trade-offs based off of what you do. It's not like there's one statistic we can just.
Yeah. And it would vary up with the size of the place and probably the location too.
Exactly,
I'm sure.
Exactly.
All right. So I read a few weeks back, I don't know if you guys have noticed that there's a new Chick-fil-A that just got built off of College Saloon. I don't think that they used any kind of, what do you call that? Yeah, your off-site construction. But I did read in researching Chick-fil-A's new efficiency model, they call it, that in their construction phases, they've actually started using modular construction in their franchises.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys have
There's
researched
companies
that.
out of Atlanta that do these kind of repeatable franchise buildings.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
Chick-fil-A's out of
and
Atlanta.
it's a huge, but I mean, they're modular manufacturer. I've heard of one of them in Atlanta area that does it. So it's definitely very popular with franchises because you control the quality and your time to market is so much faster. And so those are very attractive. And we have coffee shops that we're actively looking at, projects that would be repeatable and turnkey for customers.
Yeah, that's we're lucky. Our first client, the Pediatric Group of Acadiana, this is how we kind of sold it to them. We said, look, we're going to build you buildings faster, and we're going to set up a repeatable system, like a repeatable floor plan they can use everywhere. So they build a lot of rural health clinics. So some are as far as New Roads, Crowley. So instead of having to go to each town and finding different builders, we're going to build it in our factory, set it up for you fast. You're going to know what you're getting. It's going to be engineered the same building. So you can have the same building in New Roads as you have in Crowley, as you have in Church Point. So that's the selling point, and that's where modular really thrives, is where you build the same thing multiple times and you get a very high quality.
Consistency.
Yep.
Yeah. So how are you guys letting people know about your company? Like, how do you find a new customer? How do you pitch to them? Like, what are you guys doing? Obviously, you have out-of-state work already. What are you guys doing? What does that legwork look like?
It's a lot of networking, finding people in the industry, finding the ideal customers for us are people who understand it already and want it. And that's kind of like your first ground zero customer.
Are you just cold calling?
We have in the past, but a lot of people are actively looking for someone who's going to reduce their labor, who's going to speed up their process, who's going to support them in the way that we would, just sending people these kits of buildings. So there's a market for it out there. I think, and especially in Austin, you're starting to see these ADUs, and which are just these small homes, tiny homes that people might put in their backyard when it's too expensive to build a brand new building.
Yeah.
So that market is kind of leaking into our, our products. Is those kinds of people are interested in bringing us onto projects. So there's just a lot of people who are looking for this kind of thing.
Yeah, the internet, I mean, you know this. We build we write articles for our website, make YouTube videos, Instagram, LinkedIn. Kind of build an online representation, and then the clients kind of come to you. That's the best, and you get the most qualified clients as well. So we realize that's the best way to provide value for people, is just to make something that they're looking for, and they'll find us.
Yeah, man. It's really cool. So are you able to like do a 2-story construction? Like, what's the highest you can go? Is it single story only, or like what does that look like as far as structurally?
Yeah, cold form steel can reliably go up to 6 or 7 stories. So multifamily, the hotel industry uses it a lot because it increases their time to market significantly. So you can build quite a bit with it.
Like, what's the strength of it in like a hurricane? Obviously, you mentioned hurricanes early in the episode.
Yeah, that's a great question. It's better performance than wood because all your fasteners are screws as opposed to just being nails.
Mm-hmm.
So they're positive fasteners. There's no rot issue. It's a galvanized metal, so it's protected from water. Termites don't eat it. That's a lot of the storm damage is because termites have eaten out a building, and then the winds come.
God.
It's better performance under fire. That's why it's used in the commercial spaces, because it's truly the superior building material. It does have its drawbacks. It's more conductive than wood, but overall, we think it's a really fantastic platform for us to kind of build up automation and manufacturing.
Yeah. All right. So we are at about 37 minutes. I want to know, where do you guys hope to see BOXY? Let's say 10 years. I mean, Tiago, you'll be 36, same age as me, and then you'll be 33. Like, in 10 years, where do you hope to be with BOXY? I mean, do you hope that you're still in it, or do you hope that, maybe a big player that you partner with somebody, or do you see yourself becoming this lead company in the industry that's, banging out, commercial restaurants on a repeat schedule? Like, what does that look like in 10 years?
Yeah. I'll answer quick, and then I'd love to hear Tiago's thoughts too, but I'm definitely inspired by kind of the big tech giants. I want us to be a company that helps standardize the industry, and we want to be thought leaders in the industry, and have reach. Ideally, we want to bring income into Louisiana, so that means going to other states and kind of bringing back work or setting up new locations in other states. So I think we have long-term vision for just really growing the company and helping it scale into solutions for people. I can't pinpoint and say, we'll be building X restaurant in 10 years.
Yeah.
But the vision is to just keep on innovating in the construction space, innovate in the materials being used, innovate in the processes, innovate in how we treat our employees, and ultimately building for the end user so that the end user's experience is better.
Good answer,
Yeah,
as Steve Harvey would say.
We want we want BOXY to be bigger than us. We want to create a system where the people who come in, they learn how to construct, they learn lots of skills, learn leadership, sales, everything so we want to create a system where people can come in and really benefit for them. I mean, we think a lot about Chick-fil-A, where people say that Chick-fil-A is a leadership training company disguised as a fast food company. They say Patagonia is an environmental company disguised as a clothing company. So we hope that BOXY, beyond just improving people buildings, can be something that it's a system where people go into and they whether they stay with BOXY for a long time, whether we stay with BOXY for a long time or anything, they come out better, they come out knowing more, and they improve the world. So I guess that's our big vision for BOXY, is just it beyond us,
Yeah. And
to
to really,
it doesn't matter what I do in 10 years. Hopefully BOXY is just helping people out,
Yeah.
improve the human condition is what we say. We're a company that tries to improve the human condition through construction.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a 23-year-old answer. All right. Cool. Oh God, I had a fleeting thought. I wanna get to. Do you guys plan to keep BOXY in Louisiana, or do you see another location, or is there potential that you have multiple satellite factories around the country?
Yeah, I think we hope to have a franchise that's nationwide ultimately, but we definitely always want Lafayette to be a considerable part of our company. I don't know if the headquarters would necessarily be here, but we want to invest in developing Lafayette at the end of the day too.
Yeah, if you could put your headquarters anywhere, where would you want to put it?
I don't think I've thought about that too much.
I mean, just pie in the sky stuff. I mean, I know I don't fear if you don't say Lafayette, Louisiana, or Louisiana in general.
I say, I mean, it's not as liberal as Austin yet, but Lafayette, I think, is like the Austin of Louisiana. I think it's really up and coming. I think it's attracting a lot of talent, and it has a university here, so that's really helpful. So I think Lafayette's pretty attractive in that it's not this overdeveloped city like Atlanta or Houston, and we can really have an impact in development work locally.
All right. Tiago, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we love it here. We've been so lucky. It's a great opportunity. Lots of skilled labor, lots of smart people, hardworking people in Louisiana, good people. So I mean, we think that Lafayette's a good area to grow, but like Mateo said, we want a franchise. We want to create a system that people can be in, and this system should be able to work in Texas, in California, wherever it goes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So just a couple more minutes here. Since you guys are Louisiana natives, where do you like to eat? Where's your favorite restaurants to go eat?
Well, I really like Taco Sisters. It's a pretty good place.
Okay.
And I used to really like Bread and Circus, but they closed down recently.
Yeah.
Some cool, authentic pieces.
It doesn't have to be in Lafayette, by the way. If there's a restaurant outside of Lafayette, we're like, if you had your death row meal, what would that be?
Canes.
Canes.
I don't know. Lafayette really is like. I've lived in Atlanta. I've lived in Europe. I've lived in Texas, California for a little bit too. Lafayette, to be honest, the best food's over here. So
really, okay,
yeah.
All right.
So
man, all right, that's good. I mean, obviously, it's good to have perspective whenever you live somewhere else to know where food tastes good. Because I mean, there's good food everywhere. I mean, I wouldn't say that we have the best Mexican food by any means, because I don't even think we have true Mexican food here. There might be two spots maybe, but I'm pretty sure California and maybe South Texas probably has better Mexican food ever. But here we have the Cajun thing down, and I think Creole New Orleans.
What's your favorite restaurant?
God, all right. What would be my death row meal? Dude, I mean, Cane's is up there, but oh God, death row meal. See, I now you turning it around on me. Good God,
see, it's a hard question.
It is a hard question, right? All right,
grilling us over here, and you don't have an answer?
Look, hey, I appreciate the grill back. Let me think on it a second. God, what? Look, I'm just gonna have to agree with you. Cane's is solid.
That's incredible.
I mean, my favorite thing to do with my Cane's meal is I like the bread, and at the very end, I save the bread for last, almost like a dessert. It's not a dessert by any means, but
Texas toast.
Yeah. So I have crumbs, right? I have the breading crumbs of the chicken. And some people make a chicken sandwich out of the bread. They'll cut it in half, or they'll get 2 slices of bread and put the chicken tender in the middle. What I like to do is they got all the crumbs in the plate, okay? And I take the bread and I just dab it inside the sauce, and I dab all the crumbs off of the plate.
Smart.
And it's almost like, because I love to dip my bread in the sauce already, and I enjoy that. But then the extra little crunch of the bits just adds a little something. It's not meaty by any means, but it's just a little like, it's a good little closure of the meal there. And then I love sweet tea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The Cane's tea is it's the best.
It is like top tier. If I had to say there was any other tea, obviously this is called the Tea Podcast because I started it because I love sweet tea. It's not tea the gossip. So a lot of people think it's tea the gossip. I love sweet tea. I haven't brought sweet tea here actually since the pandemic started because I've just been, I don't know why I've had this weird thought of like, should I start bringing things to serve people? I guess it's okay now. I don't know. But yeah, Raising Cane's is top tier on their tea. Their chicken, to be honest, I don't know if this is y'all's thoughts. I mean, we're talking Cane's here for a second, and I don't mind. I have to agree with the overall thought of the chicken tender itself is not the most seasoned tasting chicken. It's pretty basic. Like if you compare it to Popeyes, especially if you get like spicy tenders from Popeyes, like there's a difference. But the sauce is where the spice is at. That's the king of the thing. Because you're not going to eat Raising Cane's. If you eat Raising Cane's without the sauce, you're a serial killer. And I stand by that.
It's the consistency. Cane's is very consistent. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and going back to you guys, I mean, the consistency of the product, I mean, that you guys make, that you guys could be the Raising Cane's of construction.
Well, Cane's, if you're out there, let us build for you.
Dude.
We'll build your franchise and make it pop up, essentially.
That would be so cool. I mean, I don't know in your industry, I don't know what would be super creative. I mean, right now you have rectangle boxes and you're called BOXY. But I'm pretty sure there's ways, like, are you able to make a building that looks curved? Is there ways to do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean,
we have a little curved building in our warehouse right now that's headed for Texas. Eventually, it has a curve. It curves into the roof.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Okay, so
people can see more photos on our Instagram of some stuff.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm about to post your Instagrams.
Don't be deceived by the name BOXY. We can build build shapes that aren't a box.
yeah, but it would have been weird to name it Curvy Construction. Like
people might be a little bit suspicious if it's called Curvy Construction.
All right, well these guys, I don't know how curvy they are, but interesting name. All right, look, I don't want to mess around too much more because I can go off of tangents, and I love talking about food and that. But it was a good segue back into you guys. If there's anything that we missed that you guys want to mention, go ahead and let's get it out now. Is there anything, Mateo, that I should have touched on or that you want to mention that I think would represent your company to the best?
I think we covered a lot of great stuff already. I think this is not something that we didn't mention, but I think there's just going to be an interesting movement in the housing industry. House prices are getting pretty expensive, and I think it's just going to change how we think about our living spaces. We haven't put our finger on what that exactly is going to be, but I think it's going to start changing, especially as our generation starts buying or renting. They're going to want certain things that other generations didn't want, and they're going to want different looks and technology integrated as well. So there's big changes coming.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Tiago, what about you? Is there anything that we should have mentioned that maybe wasn't mentioned?
Well,
besides Raising Cane's tea being the best.
Well, if there's just anybody out there who's thinking about starting a business, they should go for it. It's the best experience ever. Even if you fail, you get the amount of interesting people you meet, the amount of opportunities you get. They're just unparalleled. So,
dude,
I thought people our age need to take more risks because it's definitely worth it.
And reach out to us. We're a resource for that as well, and we can share all the mistakes that we've made on the way.
Look, I could share some mistakes.
And so many people, like when you start a business, so many people just reach out and they mentor you, they help you. It's it's an incredible experience. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious if there's any questions people have about us. I love to answer those.
Yeah. Right now we only had those 2 comments, but as the the video cycles through the internet, there might be some questions that pop up, and maybe use this video to help you guys further along and hopefully gain some new clients. Obviously, I watched you did a video on YouTube with some another person that interviewed you. I watched a portion of it, but yeah, I think you guys have a really cool concept. I've been reading up on it a little bit here and there just to kind of prep for this, but yeah, I enjoy seeing companies doing things that, especially at a young age like you guys are, that seems like, why would we do this? But if there's a mission behind it, if there's a goal behind it, I think anything's worth doing. And if you fail, like you said, you meet tons of people, you learn something from that, and then you carry that on to the next adventure, whatever that looks like.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, again for having us and the great conversation. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I mean, we're the podcast generation, and I get to see how it's done.
Yeah, look, hey, everybody has their own way of doing a podcast. You guys got to see a firsthand view of how I do it. There's like in graphic design, there's a common thing where there's 1,000 ways to do the same thing to achieve the same goal. It just, the journey is different for everybody, but as long as you obtain the same outcome, that's all you got to do. And there's no wrong way to do it as long as it looks and feels the same, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know about there's that in construction. I don't think applies because there's wrong ways to do. There's wrong ways to do that. So don't let me mix that with the construction side of things. Anyway, Mateo, Tiago, I enjoyed the conversation that we had about probably the most mild, entertaining version of what we can make out of a construction talk conversation. But I enjoy it because I'm interested in, this type of things. And I thought it would make a great podcast. And hopefully somebody listening took some good information out of it. And hopefully you guys gain a new client out of it. And if not, there's a lot of good information. And it was a great conversation.
Thank you, Ben.
All right. Well, you guys have a great weekend. Both of you guys here and you guys watching. Have a great weekend. It's Mother's Day. And if you're seeing this on Sunday or even Saturday, you might be a little late on getting your Mother's Day gift. If you have any type of mother figure, please take care of them. They show them appreciation, because without the moms in our life, whether you have a wife who's if they're a mom, your mother figure, show your mother figure appreciation. Get that done. Anyway, we're out. See you later.